If you hire a babysitter in the state of California and you don't do this, you may end up getting yourself sued, and it will cost you a lot of money. Coming up, I'll tell you what is wrong with California labor laws and how we are working to reform them. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. And if you hire a babysitter in the state of California, which a lot of parents do, they post on perhaps Facebook or some other social media site, or they talk to their friends, their neighbors. They hire someone to be a babysitter. They pay them cash. Well, guess what? That couple just broke the law. Under California state labor law, babysitters must be payroll employees. And anyone who hires a babysitter must fill out all the employment forms, deduct payroll taxes, and pay those payroll taxes through the state of California. Sounds like insanity, right? No other state does this. But in California, not only does this law apply to babysitters, it applies to basically anyone who would be working as an independent contractor. In California, the politicians have declared war on the use of independent contractors. And independent contractors, this is basically associated with the gig economy. We've had independent contractors since the beginning of time, since the beginning of periods where people bartered for different services and work. The state of California legislature passed a bill called AB5. AB5. It was written by labor union bully Lorena Gonzalez. And Lorena Gonzalez has always been out there passing bill after bill these bills are designed to force employers to pay higher wages, comply with more onerous regulations, and of course, open the door to everyone being put into a labor union. The reason why she wants to ban independent contractors in the state is that her goal is to get people to be employees and to get those employees unionized and paying dues into, you guessed it, the union coffers. Oh, by the way, Lorena Gonzalez, after authoring a variety of laws to strengthen labor unions and to give them a disproportionate amount of influence and a variety of benefits through law. She's now left the legislature and she is the head honcho at the state labor council, making a whole lot of money. That's right. You would even consider it a possibility that she planned this all along for herself. But back to AB5. So AB5 says that all businesses are to refrain from hiring independent contractors in California, even if the business is located outside of the state of California. They are not allowed to use independent contractors. There is a test that you have to follow to see if your employee that you're about to hire is an independent contractor. It's called the ABC test. And the ABC test, let me bring it up here on the screen. Here's the simple description of an AB5 test, and let me explain it in plain English. The first element is if you're hiring someone that you or your company does not control or direct how they do their work step by step, either by the contract or by what you're telling them to do. Now, when you're hiring that babysitter, the parents control the work. They basically say, watch my kids, feed them this. Don't let them watch this sort of television. And so anytime there's any control that you exercise over how work is to be done, the sorts of standards, the quality of the service, that could trigger the control that eliminates an independent contractor status. Second, that the worker doing the work is performing tasks outside of the hiring entity's usual course of business. Now, for the babysitter, parents usually are the ones watching the kids, right? So there's no way to meet that standard. But a lot of hiring of independent contractors can easily meet this test because the company doesn't actually do this as its core business. And so they're just hiring off the shelf someone to come in on a temporary basis, as needed basis to do the work. But if you are using an independent contractor and it does relate to your core business, then you can't satisfy this requirement. Third, that the worker is engaged in a large and broad-based business, providing similar services to others. So again, if you hire a neighbor, a kid of a neighbor to watch your kids, that individual may have multiple parents that she babysits for. But if it's just one, then you're in trouble. And by the way, is it considered that individual's established trade, occupation, or business? Probably not. They're doing it for a little extra spending money on occasion. Oh, and by the way, this ABC test, you have to meet all three criteria. If you meet just one and you miss out on two, you violated AB5 if you don't make that person an employee. This situation was actually put on display during COVID-19. When schools were locked down, a number of parents decided that they would hire teachers. And they created pods, actually, where parents got together, pitched in a little bit of money, and they had teachers come in and teach classes outdoors in the open air. Well, AB5 would have banned tutors and teachers during COVID-19. It was something that was happening a lot in the state. And we actually at Reform California issued a warning that, hey, you could get yourself into a very costly lawsuit. You may be breaking the law. California politicians have made hiring these teachers illegal. And so when Lorena Gonzalez was confronted with this, she was asked, does AB5 apply to these tutors or these teachers? And she refused to answer the question. It's not a surprise because she knew that it would be really unpopular if people realized that that is how her law would be applied. But more importantly, it highlights a problem. If you don't know whether what you're doing is legal to hire someone, chances are you're not going to hire them, or you may hire them and unwittingly find yourself in a costly lawsuit or facing sanctions from the state of California. And that leads me to the negative impact of this law. There are three negative impacts. First, if you are caught employing an independent contractor when they should be an employee in the view of the state of California under AB5, you face costly lawsuits and massive penalties from the state of California. So the first thing is it's going to cost you a lot of money. And who's you? Individuals and small businesses. The second thing that AB5 is going to do, it's going to hurt workers because a lot of these workers want to be independent contractors. They don't want to work for the man. They don't want to work for one company. They like the idea of having a diversity of challenges and projects that they're working on. These workers also are hoping someday to perhaps expand and start their own small business. This is the essence of the gig economy, and AB5 is declaring war on the gig economy. And third, AB5 hurts businesses. If you're a business in the state of California, particularly a small business, you rely on independent contractors because that is the most cost-effective way to get things done. Particularly when you're a small business, you don't have the ability to have all the staff and overhead of a larger company. Oh, believe me, the big companies, they don't mind hiring a few of these folks for salary to be employees because they're probably big enough that they could utilize a graphic designer or utilize an event planner. Well, when you're a small business, you're not big enough to spread those costs over all the things that you're doing. You need it just in time. You need it as needed. You want to pay as needed, which is why independent contractor arrangements are typically used by small businesses for efficiency. What does this mean? Well, California, once again, has another law that no other state has, AB 5, that's making our state toxic to job creation, and it empowers special interests. The labor union bosses are so excited about AB 5 because it allows them to have more employees to go after and unionize. It allows them also to threaten businesses that they will report irregularities or get lawyers to come in and file lawsuits under AB 5. And it's happening all over the state. This is a nightmare. It's costing people a lot of money. I hear from independent contractors all the time. There's even a group on Facebook, independent contractors opposing AB 5, who share horror stories. And many of them are telling us just that it's impossible to get work, not only within the state of California, but they are going on these websites where independent contractors from different trades can find out what opportunities for work are occurring across the country. And a lot of the opportunities posted on these sites include disclaimers by companies that say, this solicitation only applies to people working outside of the state of California. That if you are in the state of California, you need not apply for this gig job, this independent contractor opportunity, because AB 5. This law has to be repealed, and I urge you to join our fight to restore sanity in employment laws in the state of California so that we can support small businesses, independent contractors pursuing their dreams. Go to the website defendfreedomtowork.com. defendfreedomtowork.com. On that website, you'll find more information on our fight against AB 5. You can contribute. We need grassroots contributions so that we can fight for small businesses and independent contractors and protect the freedom to work. You can also share news stories. We absolutely need your help because the liberal media, they don't want to cover AB 5. You know why? The liberal media got a special exemption. Newspapers, TV stations got special exemptions from AB 5 when they saw the bill coming down the pike and said, oh, this is going to hurt us. They cut a deal with Lorena Gonzalez and the other legislators. And as a result of that deal, seemingly they've decided not to criticize the negative impacts of this law on everyone else. So I'm urging you, help us get videos like this video out and news stories like the ones on our website, defendfreedomtowork.com. Help us get those out to as many business owners and voters as possible by contributing. If you don't want to contribute, you can certainly share this video, like it, and subscribe to the video channel to help the algorithm. Until next time, this is Reform California with Carl DeMaio. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.